Arts and Crafts with GL. I'm Gail.
I'm Luba.
And we're here to show you how to make Mod Podge ornaments that look like this. This one is made for Halloween. However, Luba's going to make one that is, oh, we got a visitor.
Yeah.
Luba's going to make one that's for
Christmas
or for the winter holidays using snowflakes. And we're going to show you how we did this. We used ribbon instead of material or paper like you normally see. Just want to talk about one really great point with this. If you use ribbon that has glitter on it, you know how glitter gets all over the house and it's difficult to clean up? The cool thing about making these is because you're putting Mod Podge on top of the glitter, it holds it in place more and you have a lot less of that, almost none. And so that really helps keep the house clean. That's a really great point.
Mess is always good.
Yes.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're using ornaments that are plastic and clear. And we got these at the Dollar Tree. Mine is 5 inches.
This is 3 inches.
That's 4 inches.
This is 4 inches.
Okay, 5 and 4.
I need to brush up on my inches.
We have a glass that we're setting our ornaments on so we have more control over it. And you can kind of move around like this. So this was bought at the Dollar Tree. It's 6 inches tall and it's a mesh and it has spider webs on it. And this is what I'm using for mine. She's using snowflakes that we bought at Michael's. Right now at the Dollar Tree, you can also find things like these feathers that would work really neat. And if something's too big, you could always clip in on the sides a little bit and kind of overlap them.
Yeah.
And you can still get the effect. Yeah.
It's good for any season, basically. It's gold and white. It's good for any occasion almost. Yeah.
And it's going to work well when we make our Victorian Christmas tree next year. And when we do, we're also going to do a Victorian Halloween but a little bit more goth and a little bit more dark and mysterious. So you have a chance to see 2 different sides with it. And just to let you know too, what we're going to do with these ornaments, we're going to keep them plain for now, but you could put a bow on them. And the reason why we're keeping them plain is in April, we're starting something new. It's called Halloween in April. We are going to introduce a celebrity that we are going to create a whole tree about. And it's going to be kind of mysterious right now. We're not going to tell you the name, but I will give you a couple of hints. He's been around since the 1970s, and he is the father of shock rock.
I wouldn't have guessed it.
He's also in a band, a more recent band, with Joe Perry from Aerosmith and Johnny Depp. And they're called the Hollywood Vampires.
Well, now everybody's going to Google it and figure it out.
I know, well, that's the point, just to have fun. And if you get the answer right, please post it below. We'd like to give you a shout out. We have to pre-cut our ribbon, and you want to cut the circular parts. We're going to show you that in a minute. We have sponge brushes. These are 1 inch. And then we're also using Mod Podge that we got at the Dollar Tree. And we do need scissors. Have a tray or plastic or something. You could even use a sheet protector.
So just make them large. Don't worry about make them being perfect. And don't bother with the border because it has wire in it and it will interfere with overlap. We like to place them in a bag so it just makes it easier, especially if you can't finish them once.
Thank you. I'm going to start with one of these. All you're going to do is take a little bit of the Mod Podge and you're going to stick it on top like this, just enough to kind of hold this down in place. So you'll place it down like that, and you can see that the ribbon is more flat and we want it to round to the ornament. So I'm just going to start in the middle. I'm going to hold my finger on one side where there's not that much Mod Podge, and I'm just going across here.
By the way, this is a very old technique. We're just utilizing it in a different way.
Yes, by using ribbon, and it's really nice to have that see-through, and the fibers are a lot more loose, so that way it makes it easier to round it on a globe without having to cut it like paper. And so we have this. Now the next thing that's really cool about this is you want to go on ahead and line up a little bit of glue out to the side so you can see where you started this one. And then you're going to take another one and we're going to place it, but we want to overlap it so we don't have to fill in as much. So I'm probably going to come in about this much. And I'm going to start from this side. And spread it out. And if it does come loose and you can see a space in between it, just slightly move it over and overlap it.
So there is a little time to correct.
Yes, and it's easier to start from one end to the other side so that it allows the ribbon to take form and shape to the shape of the ornament.
So
and I'm just going to start one up here.
The first blob of the glue that you put in, it's just one time, right?
Yes, it's there to help stick the piece on so you can get your placement.
Yeah.
So you're placing the glue on first just to help place the next one, and it, you know, it's so much easier to work with. And a little bit more glue is a little bit better. Oh, see how this one split apart? I'm just gonna see if I can overlap it. You want to kind of be careful with the air bubbles and stuff. If you get a few in there, they don't show up that bad, but I'm just letting you know from my experience. We're going to keep repeating this.
So just wondering, how long does it take for it to glue to actually be handable?
Oh, you mean how long does it take for it to dry?
Dry.
It will probably take, it could take up to a couple of hours. It depends how much glue you use, and or it could dry fairly soon. But to fully dry, I would say a couple hours. Again, working from that one edge, making sure it's overlapped. See how it's overlapped right here? And see how that's sticking up? It doesn't have any glue on it. I want to make sure I get that part too, so I have no loose ends.
You want to make it flat.
You want to make it as flat as you can. And guess what? You still have to kind of go back. See, I can go back here. And here's another good thing. Let's say that it kind of bubbles up and you didn't see it. Well, you can go back and add more Mod Podge and fix it later. I'm just going to use this one up here to show you what it looks like on the neck before we go to the next part. I'm going to put a little bit of glue up here too so I can already have that form set up. So it has three things: height, width, and depth. Okay, so this might take a little bit time to kind of stick up there, but you do want to go all the way up to the edge. And because I have enough overlapping down here, I'm actually going to bring this up to make sure that it's completely covered and I don't have to come back and do that later. I'm just going to do that. And if it's a little hard to go around here, don't worry about it. You're going to fill it in. And if it's a little bit bunched up there, it's okay. Or you can use scissors to kind of cut down here.
You can't get rid of. So it looks like different ribbons have different thickness to it. And mine is a little thicker. So when you start decoupaging, right here, you start decoupaging, there might be bubbles that you can't get rid of.
She's also using a smaller ornament, so that's part of it as well.
The smaller balls, a little trickier. But, so you do your basic glue over, or decoupage media over, which is basically glue. And see how there are parts that will not cooperate. They will be bubbling up or sticking up. So what you do, you take a scissor, it's a trick. You cut it in those parts that you feel are stubborn.
So I'm just going to cut a little bit in between the snowflake part, and we're going to see if this works a little better. And I'm going to place them right here, Luba, and we'll see if this problem solves that. So my scissors are clean. She's using the ones to problem solve on the bulb, so we can show you two different ways to do this if you run into this problem. Actually, the material from the Dollar Tree works really well for this. This has more of a sheen to it, and you can tell that the fibers are closer together, and that's what we're running into. And it's a great thing that we're using ribbon from 2 different places so we can problem solve that.
Yeah, unexpected problems sometimes become better solutions, you know. And you'll have your fingerprints all over the ornament. Will be very personalized.
I thought you were going to say that it would be better to identify as.
At the point where it's almost dry, but you still have a little glue underneath, you press it down and it smooths it all out.
Here's what the ornaments look like on the tree. These are the spiderweb ornaments. Just so we can kind of recap what works and what doesn't. The cheapest ribbon from the Dollar Tree works the best for this project, and it also works the best on the 5-inch ornament. That way you have more room to spread it out. However, if you're using a 4-inch ornament and you're using ribbon from somewhere else, just remember to cut in on the sides where the pattern isn't showing and take your time to kind of form it. It will just take a little bit more time, and I'll show you that one in just a moment. Let's take a look at what this looks like close up. Here's what the spiderweb ornament looks like. I'll kind of go around to the sides a little bit so you can see it. This is the one that Luba made right here, and I'm going up a little closer so you can kind of see the glue on it. It's still very beautiful. You can kind of see how it overlaps. You can see a little bit of the translucency behind it. So the light does reflect through it. So it's still very beautiful. We hope you enjoyed this video. I got a little company right now. And if you enjoyed this video, we'd love to see you next time. Please subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.